my fabulous scrappy friends, it is Jess here, and I am creating a layout for you that features my big boy Jack, and he is definitely having a boys will be boys moment in these photos, so that sentiment worked just perfectly for this. Now that little notebook paper that I'm holding right now in my hand, it was from a cut apart sheet. And to cut all the little notches and nodules out, what I actually did was get my hole punch, and I hole punched the circles out. And then to cut the extra bits, I just got my scissors and cut a little rectangle out, or two little snips out of each circle punch. I hope that made a little bit of sense, but it worked absolutely perfectly. So now I have this gorgeous notebook effect that, is sticking up and has a little bit of texture to it and isn't all completely stacked down. And I think actually I could do this again on my own, create my own, because I don't have a notebook border punch, just by using that same technique of getting my hole punch and just snipping a little bit out of the holes. So I'm excited to give that a try. I have gone distress happy with this one as well. So I distressed the edge of that sort of sandy colored paper that's underneath the notebook, and I distressed the bottom side of the boys will be boys, and I've also distressed these little scraps of squares. These I actually had been holding onto inside the kit and just gave up and went, these are so small, just throw them away. You don't need to hold every little piece of paper. But then as my layout was coming together, I was like, oh, actually those little squares would work really well. So I pulled them back out of the rubbish bin. See, this is why I do hold on to them. I'm just terrible. Also these triangles too. So I've just built up a little bit of an interesting background here. As you can see, that's kind of the basis of my 12 by 12. And then I made my own cut file here with these tires. And I pulled in the tires because in the photographs, they're what is all made up around the background. Jack is playing laser tag in an outdoor arena, I suppose you call it, I don't know, a field. And just to show off the boundaries and to make some like hiding places and stuff, there are tires, these crummy old tires that are painted, that are dirty, that are all ratty and gross and whatever. So I tried to replicate that with my own tires. So there's a stack of 3, and I painted those with a little bit of gesso, just in a whole bunch of different ways, just to sort of give them that messy old look like what is in the background of the photographs. So I've popped those up on foam. I've popped this super cute close-up picture up on foam, and I'm just going to put that last tire, that fourth tire, laying down on the diagonal as well. I've got to tell you, Jack was so super excited to get to be a big boy. His cousin had turned 10 or 11 and was having a birthday party. We were actually on holidays in the country, so the birthday party was all just with their family, our family, and he wanted to do this laser tag. And of course, Jack is usually too little, he was being only 4 at the time. He doesn't usually get to play those kind of games or join in with those kind of things, but he actually was allowed to join in this time, and he was tickled pink. He was so excited to get to be one of the big kids and play. Of course, he was the first one to run out of laser and to lose all of his points and all of that, but it did not matter in the slightest that he was an easy shot. He just had a blast having a play, and it was so cute to watch. And then little Thomas, to make sure he felt he was joining in, just ran like crazy all around chasing them. Obviously, he didn't get to have the equipment, but he thought that he was part of the game anyway, so that was just gorgeous. So much fun for the big cousins, and Jack being allowed to be a big cousin for once. So I did find this quite a little bit tricky to embellish in terms of what to utilize from the EcoPark kit. I didn't really want to include too many other pieces of ephemera that were not related. I thought that was a little bit strange. And my layout is also very busy. There's 2 big cut files. There's a lot of photos, having 4 3x4 photos in there. Essentially where I'm putting those cut files could have been another photo, with the size of them, like the placeholder that they are taking up. So I'm definitely squeezing a lot into one layout. So I didn't really know what direction to go in with the embellishments. So my first little cluster that just has the rough and tough sentiment, the target, and the little star was kind of it. And I didn't really have much else I could work with. So I do manage to pull another cluster into the layout. And I'll show you that in a minute, of course. I was just going to see where and which direction I could go to from there. I love the way Janet from RTS Scrapbooking talks about the visual triangles and trying to keep your layouts having a visual triangle. And then the cluster size. I love that concept of having a 70-50-30 cluster size. But I know that that's not possible in every single layout, and sometimes your layouts just work with or without them. So having said that, I was still conscious in my mind that I wanted something else onto this layout to be a little bit more like embellishing. It's unusual for me to not put any forms of embellishments on here. So I am going to pop this day as my title, and it is going to sort of balance in between those photos there. But there's a lot of space that would need to be stuck straight flat on the page. And then there's also the other half of the letters are getting popped up on foam. So I will jump ahead in a minute, because the T, the H, and the I, and the D and the A will need to be popped up on little teeny tiny bits of foam so that they are at the same level as the rest of the letters in the title. And that's super fiddly, so I just cut it out of the video so that you didn't watch all of that little fiddly tweaking around. Now, I popped that next little star down in the bottom corner, but I didn't really add any other embellishments to that. Put this banner that was already made, I just fussy cut off a card, and then 2 little stickers from the sticker sheet. And that's essentially going to be it for my clusters. So I'm not really sure which one would be the 70 and which one would be the 50. The one with the rough and tough and this one here that I'm working on now are almost the same size. And then the one little star down the bottom is definitely my 30, but you almost can't even call it a cluster because it's just a star there on its own. But it still has that triangular effect, and it still is leading your eye to look at all the aspects that are going on in this layout, which is basically the purpose of your triangle effect and the purpose of your clusters being different sizes, just to draw your eye around the page. And I think that still occurs within the layout. So I am super, super happy with how this came together. I just think it's perfect. Jack looks so thrilled to be one of the big boys. I love this collection from Echo Park. That's my boy. I think Laurie Whitlock did a brilliant job with it, and I cannot wait to show you my next layout coming up very soon. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a fantabulous, happy, scrappy week, and I will see you next time. Bye.